project was based on military prep workouts. My big question was, how can I get people to push past their limits that they set for themselves, mentally and physically, and push towards a goal? My experience for this, in this kind of things, when, I'm just gonna go back to like my story and how I got myself to where I am. I started out, I started about 8 years old. I wasn't an athletic kid going through elementary school and middle school. I wasn't a jock at all, and I had zero motivation, zero drive to do anything. I got interested in the military because I liked the fighting aspect. I always wanted to be an army guy, doing all the cool stuff I see in the movies. And then I kept with that. My family told me, like, you know, it was just a childhood dream, just, you know, grow up, do something else. But I kept with it. I'm a hard-headed person, and I kept doing it. I found the things that I needed to do in order to actually achieve that, because it's a lot harder than it looks in the movies. So I decided to start working out because I couldn't do anything at all. It was borderline pathetic. If anything, I decided to start riding my bike to go to town every day, back when I lived out of town. I would ride 3 miles into town, I'd go buy a Monster energy drink, and I'd come back home. I do that every single day, just for an excuse to go, you know, at least ride my bike. And after about a month of that, I decided to start running, and I was all pumped to go, and I got my shoes, and I bought new shorts because I didn't own any at the time, and I started running and made it probably about 25 feet before I was like, no. It fell down, I was coughing, and it sucked, it was awful. I kept at it. Like, I'm a hard-headed person, I hate to lose. I'd rather die than not be able to get something that I want. So I'd get back up and I'd walk until I could run again, then I'd run another 25 feet, and then I'd cough and die and curse and yell and get back up and start doing it again. And then until I did this every day for about a month, until, you know, I started changing my diets. Instead of a Monster drink, I would go and get peace tea or something like that. And then I changed it to water, and then I'd just go for runs and then I'd come back home. Until eventually I could run 3-6 miles, no problem. I got faster and faster and faster and more confident in myself, and I gained those abilities through pushing myself. I set new limits for myself as I got more and more physically fit. You know, mentally, being able to tell myself that that's not impossible anymore. Like, you used to look at running and say, I can't do that, that's hard. And then now I look at anything. You can look at 1,000 push-ups and say that's only a few sets of 10. Like, you just got to do 10 push-ups over and over and over until you're at 1,000. So set new limits for yourself. I started lifting with weights. My dad bought me a 100-pound weight set and a punching bag. It's really heavy, coarse, crappy bag. He hung it up in the garage and showed me this small workout that actually sucks a lot. It's awful. But I only had about 100 pounds, and I started working out with about 50 of it. And I'd get so mad out there because I couldn't lift it. It was like, you see people in the movies, like these army guys and these special operators that do all these crazy things, and I'm like, how's that even possible? Like doing the stuff they do. I started lifting, I started getting better. I'd go outside every day before I went to bed, and I'd hit the punching bag, and I practiced my form. I got better at fighting. I took classes. I did all sorts of stuff. I got stronger. I got to the point where I had to buy gloves and wraps because my knuckles, they're still scarred from it. There's blood all over the bag still, where you can see where I did that. And it just shows you how much I wanted it, how much I was pushing. And it just didn't care if I was bleeding. It didn't matter if I was, you know, in pain or hurting. I just wanted to get my goal. I was pushing every single day for it harder and harder and harder. So some days I couldn't even sleep because I was in so much pain. I was shaking still. I was mad at myself because I couldn't get what I wanted. I couldn't. It's like it felt like it was so far away, and no matter how hard I pushed, I'd just be left shaking at the end of the day, and it felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. Eventually, I decided to push my goals forward. I figured I'm not going to get anywhere if I just want to be an Army guy. So I decided I want to be a Marine. That was good for a little while, and it helped me push myself. The whole time doing this by myself, as I got better and better, no one really wanted to jump in the fun. But started to push myself, and I ended up hearing about special operations, Navy SEALs, Recon, MARSOC, the top guys. Like there's like Marines, Marine infantry, the best fighters in the world, and then there's the guys that are better than them, the guys that push to superhuman limits and don't stop for anything and don't let anything get in their way. And that appealed to me because that's the top. That's as high as you can get, physically, mentally, and honor-wise. It just means a lot to me and my family and being a military family. So I decided to go for that. I started pushing harder and harder and harder. Almost unrealistically some days I've passed out, and I went to the hospital once because it was rough. But I ended up pushing for it. I enlisted in, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL for a really long time, and that was a very possible goal. It felt impossible at the time, but just like anything else that I've taught myself to do, just keep pushing at it. You can push past your limits that you think you have, and you can go to new and impossible. You can be in a place that you never thought you could be before. With that, one second, with that, I ended up hearing about MARSOC, they're like Navy SEALs, but they're in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps appeals to me because of the brotherhood aspect, the whole, everything about it, just the tight-knit community, how hard the boot camp is, how the expectations that they set for you, and how hard they push you both mentally and physically. I decided to enlist in the Marine Corps, and then I started writing their workouts. After a while, I started running their warrior trainings. My sergeant would give me, he'd just be like, do whatever you want to do, and I'd write workouts. I've written several, probably 10, 15 actual legit workouts that are on the internet right now that a lot of people are using. But started writing their workouts. I started getting awards from sergeant majors and just higher up people for pushing myself and knowing my knowledge and being a leader. I got a lot of experience physically through the Pool Lead program. They do things a bit differently when they work out. It's all gauged towards functional fitness, combat fitness, being able to not just, push a 400-pound bar off your chest, because that's helpful it's not helpful at all. If you're stuck in the jungle, there's not going to be like a car engine on your chest that you have to get off. So they gauge you where you can carry your friend for half a mile, and then set him down, and then run and pull yourself over a wall, and keep running, and then lift 40 pounds over your head 100 times in 2 minutes. I've gotten myself to 187 sit-ups in 2 minutes, and you can do like 20 pull-ups, drop, do a mile and a half, come back, and it's just the repetition and the endurance portion that they stress and stress and stress and stress and stress. I've gotten really good, and I strive to push myself. And the functional fitness portion is what really caught me. It's so unique in itself versus every other type of working out. Like I said before, you get bodybuilders who push a whole crap ton of weight off their chest, or lift a bunch of weight and they drop it, but that really doesn't help them for a survival situation, a situation where if they needed to run, they could run as fast as they wanted for as long as they wanted, And if they got backed up in a corner, they could also fight their way out of it, or, you know, lift their friend up and carry their friend, pick up large amounts of weight and still be able to move fast and survive. This fitness type it's how I base everything that I do off of it. Every single workout I do, the way I eat, the way that I sleep. I have a certain schedule that I stay on to help with working out like this. It's something that I believe that more people should be aware of, because not many people are aware of it. You see, I'm not trashing on football players. Obviously, do a great job. But inside the weight room, you see them, all they do is bench and squat, bench and squat, bench and squat. I mean, if they incorporated more functional fitness regimens into their workout plan, they would be able to push themselves so much harder, faster and stronger, and for longer. And I started spreading word about it. I wanted to make the awareness level of this go up with people, just to help them reach their goals, be able to do just like I did, and say, like, they start out saying, like, I can't do that, that's impossible. And then being able to have the opportunity to be coached and taught and motivated and shown that they can do that and build their confidence levels until they take off on their own. That was my first time trying to deadlift with my group. I can't even remember how much was on it. It was heavy though. And, next one.
Did you get it?
Oh yeah, I got it. That's all you just do is just pick it up. But just working my legs that day. But this is me at the Marine recruiting office with my group and the rest of the police. This day, actually, there's a funny story with this day. Right now I have my 80-pound vest on. It's hard to see, but I have my 80-pound vest on, and I'm the one on the left, if anyone can't tell, the one on the left with the box. That's pretty sure a 40-pound box, and they have you just lift it over your head as many times as it took for them to say stop. So they just so you just keep lifting it, lifting it, lifting it, and that's always rough. My partner to the left of me, he's doing push-ups while I'm doing mine. And that same day, actually, we had to start off with a 3-mile run, which, we pushed ourselves so hard. I was surprised I did so well. And the rest of my team did really well too. Everybody did great. I came in at 5th place with my 80-pound on, and it was rough. That pushed me to that set my limits to a new level, because I pushed myself harder than I ever thought I could go. I ran really fast, and it got to the point where you started seeing spots, and then the grosser part, I threw up, and then I kept going, and then I collapsed. Like, my legs just gave out. I scraped up my arms, scraped up my knees, and just hit the ground, and it was just spewing. Like, it was the worst. It was painful. It sucked, and then I blacked out. And I don't remember much after that. It sounds awful, but you feel so great when you actually finish. Because most people, see, most people, I can read the room right now. Most people would be like, what? Like, you set your limits. It's how hard you want to push yourself and how hard you want to succeed. If I wanted to finish that run more than I wanted to live, and I was willing to push myself till I either just couldn't, or I died. So it was one of the two was going to happen that day. This is me just coaching, and I ended up finishing the race at a sprint too, so that's pretty good. But I'm coaching one of my people that were coming, Natalia. That's actually the first workout that I started doing. So I call it a Romanian complex, and it's a series of, you do 5 reps of a bunch of different workouts. It's a full body workout that you use everything for the entire time you're doing it. You don't stop it's about 5 minutes that you're doing it at a time. It's awful. It burns so bad, and it really pushes the mental toughness portion, being able to push through something when your body's failing. Just coaching how to do it. Another aspect of what I wanted to teach people along with this is leadership. So once I felt that Neil in the red shirt, when he was comfortable with the workouts, which he wasn't at first, he couldn't do more than a few push-ups when I started working with him before he wanted to quit. And we worked with him, I motivated him, yelled at him when he needed to be yelled at, and helped him when he needed to be, handled with care. He ended up pushing harder than most people that I've ever worked with. And he has a really good mindset. And then he got to the point where he could do this exercise with 70 pounds fairly well by himself. And I let him coach Jessica on how to do it. He taught her how to do it, and she ended up, I had him stick with her until she was able to do it. And he coached her, he helped her, and got her to the point where she could do that all by herself, which I thought was just great. This is after a run. They were being all confident and cocky, and they were telling me the day wasn't so bad, so I put everybody on a run, and two of them were actually sleeping back there. They passed out, and the rest just didn't get up for like 15 minutes. So I love how hard they were pushing themselves. At the beginning, I didn't think, just looking at everybody, I didn't think they were going to get to the point where they would actually want to push themselves that hard to where two of them are, they just didn't wake up for like 20 minutes. I thought it was amazing how hard they pushed themselves and how I was passing that on myself. Shouldn't be. All right, 1 second. Okay, this is the group. There was more people that came and left, but these are the ones that stuck with me the entire time from the beginning. I love these guys. I think they're great. I've gotten to know each and every single one of them better, and they're all great guys. They all push really hard, and it's just that I had them get together after a workout one day and just kind of be goofy for a second. What else did I do? Like I said before, I touched on leadership. That was something that I stressed a majority of the time. Most of the time it was me kind of taking charge and showing people what to do, but I also like to pass the torch on to people and see how they do in the position. If they didn't do so well, like some people, I like to teach that if you can't follow, you can't lead. If you don't know how to take orders, you can't give orders, because some people just want to be in charge, and then they become a jerk, and they start yelling at people, but when you go to tell them how to do something, they don't want to listen. So I had to deal with that a little bit. I taught them how to lead and how to do it correctly, for example with Neil. I taught them mental toughness. That is something I stressed the entire time throughout every single workout, every single day, every time I messaged them on Facebook and they were asking me questions or complaining. Mental toughness. It's just the ability to push yourself through hard times, even when your body wants to stop. You tell your body just to keep going, and you keep going, and it's amazing what you can do. You tell yourself you can just keep going. Those are the two things we mainly touched on besides the physical portion. Obstacles along the way was mainly getting people to start coming to workouts, because when you advertise, because I wasn't pulling any punches when I was telling people I was going to really work them. That's how I advertised it. I said it was going to be tough, it was going to be hard, and if you don't think you can do it, I don't want you to come. It was that simple, and I'd tell people to stop coming if I didn't think they could do it, because more or less it's bad for the motivation of the group. If they, I had one person kick me in the head. That was an interesting few minutes, but more or less I ask them to stop coming. I don't put up with people who don't, especially with this group, with the kind of camaraderie that I was trying to get together. I'm not gonna put up with people who didn't want to be part of the group. Along with that, you know, just attitude was a big problem. As for the last example, attitude, big problem. Sometimes when things get tough, people want to quit. As you know, with most things, when things hurt, you want to stop getting hurt. So people quit, but I just have to stress with them. It was a long road getting them to push through the pain. Other than that, it was just working with them, getting them to listen was not a big problem, but a problem along the way. Just because when you're in pain and you're out of breath, I'm sure most people have been there. You're just out of breath and you don't want to listen to anybody because you're like coughing and like hurting. And when somebody's still yelling at you, telling you to keep going, you don't want to listen. It's like nope. And so you work with that, get them to push through that, and how to open their ears up and shut their mouths. And it's just suffer in silence kind of thing. It pays off in the end. The big question to recap: how can I get people to push past the limits, physically, mentally, push towards a goal? Like I've stated over and over in here, just sticking with them. Just give people the opportunity is what I've found helps them. With me, I didn't have so much of that opportunity to have someone to coach me or to help push me, but I think that it was great to help, give people the opportunity and have people come in when they're interested about pushing themselves harder, when they didn't think they could actually do it. And then, yelling at them when they need to be yelled at, and work with them. Just be nice to them, be their friend. Sometimes don't be their friend, and be the mean guy if you have to. And then just tell them they did a good job, even when they didn't. If they think they didn't. If they're, got half a pull-up, quarter pull-up. I saw one guy who can only shrug a pull-up, and I shook his hand every time he did it because he at least tried. And eventually, he's at the point where he can do 10 pull-ups now after these workouts, and it's just great. So, future holds. I'm still the workouts. My senior project is done, but I'm going to keep these workouts going because I think it's a good thing. And more people are coming, more people are known about it in town, and I think it baffles my mind how far this is going right now, how far people are coming. I hope to see after I leave for the Marine Corps this June. I hope to pass the torch on to some other, not going to call them students, just somebody who's in the group who I feel could carry the weight of the entire program with them while I'm gone. And I hope that this really helped a lot of people in the community, and I feel that it did just looking at these people.